Allert, we've heard a lot already about multi-sectoral work that we need to do, about people, about accountability. What is, in your opinion, are the things that we need to look to?
Well, let me start with making a confession, and that's that sometimes I often feel being at a loss in a conference like this. I mean, I'm in the midst of a big number of eminent scientists and high-level policymakers, and I'm working for an organization. We are just practitioners. We try to make it work in the communities. And we have to deal to deal with the limits that are set by the policymakers. We have to choose from the options that are offered to us by the scientists and make it work. But then I try to relay that to the people we are working with. A couple of months ago, I was in a valley in the east of Laos, the country where I'm currently based. It's small, it's remote, and you work with 50, 60, 70 families where stunting is rampant. And people can't go to the shop to buy nutritious food because there is no shop. Their life is governed, the cycles given by nature. Their life is governed by their belief systems, by their culture, by their tradition. And then I realized that we know everything about the new varieties, the high-yielding varieties, how to access markets, how to do this, how to do that. But we know very little about what drives these people. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree more with Dr. Bengali in saying that increasing the power of women within the household is a precondition. But it still doesn't answer what drives their decisions. Mm-hmm. What makes them starting to feed their children rice, not continue with breastfeeding? How do we relate to that? And more and more I come to the conclusion that we know too little about this. And maybe it's exemplary that, as far as I can see, I mean, I don't know, most of you I don't know, but there's very little attendance from the behavioral sciences. Mm-hmm. And I think if we would focus on behavioral change, and I couldn't agree more with you, we have to get behavioral sciences included in our discussion. Mm-hmm. And we don't have to start from scratch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that in sanitation, mm-hmm. Much more is known about what drives people to change their behavior. Mm-hmm. Family planning, mm-hmm. I mean, great example. So we have to get that knowledge involved in our discussions and integrate them next to improvements in production systems, mm-hmm. Improvements in policy structures. Don't get me wrong, there's still major achievements to be made in those areas, but then it comes to the behavior. And it doesn't stop with the behavior of the consumers. If I also carefully listened yesterday to a number of the presentations, some people say, well, we have to go out and we have to educate the people. And honestly, I get scared. I mean, that sounds to me as like, I know what you need, I'm going to tell you, and you better behave. Because if you don't do it, you have to face the consequences yourself. So it's not about educating, it's about joint learning, it's about motivating people and connecting to the drivers. Mm-hmm. That doesn't stop with the people in the villages. Mm-hmm. It also applies to policymakers. It also applies to us, the intermediaries. We have to also learn. We also have to change our behavior if we want to accelerate the end of hunger.
Thank you.